Today, a lot is happening in the polity as we gradually inch closer to the 2019 general elections. Debates are ongoing here and there, and the presidential candidates and the governorship candidates are selling themselves, proclaiming their tickets, and enjoining people to come on their side. Today on the program, we'll be featuring one of the presidential candidates of one of the parties in Nigeria. And, well, he's one of the young contestants. And, you know, I so much enjoy listening to this man because of the fresh ideas. You talk about technology. You know, he wants to give you like we're in the 21st century. And it's really refreshing to have someone going out of the box to tell us about the future and of a country and what can be done to actually ease off on so much tension and the stress and the fears, you know, we are encountering and Nigerians have towards our country, Nigeria. So you need to stay with us on the program this morning because it's going to be a very refreshing discussion. And also a lot of things that are happening in the polity nationally. It's quite fearsome. I think that's the word I should use, fearsome. You know, because it's like every week, new trouble, you know, and it makes us wonder where exactly we're going in Nigeria. But I just want to say that we should not be afraid. Someone said Nigeria is very good at bouncing back, you know. We feel like we're going to shake, we're going to fall, but at the end of the day, we are standing. Nigeria is still standing and will continue to stand. So stay with us, we'll take a quick break. I know, sorry, Banji is not here. He's held up somewhere in traffic, but I believe that before the program ends, he'll be right here with us on the program. So we'll take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll have our guest for the day. Don't go away, we'll be right back. All right, sir. It closes, just the password. Welcome back. The program is Summit, where we discuss political issues. And this morning, like I said, we have one of the youngest men in the political terrain who's vying to be the president of Nigeria. And he's been saying so much on his ticket. And this morning, we have him here again with us. He's a Nigerian human rights activist, a pro-democracy campaigner. He's the founder of online news agency Sahara Reporters. I guess that has already let the cat out of the bag. And he's the presidential candidate for African Action Congress, AAC, in the person of Omoyele Sowore. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for
Good
bringing
to have you on our program today.
Yes, I'll say good morning to all your viewers, and thank you for bringing me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, now the polity is hot now because there are debates ongoing everywhere, even though you have been excluded from being part of that debate. So I think we should start from there because if we have different platforms now where the presidential candidates are reeling out their manifestos and their plans towards good governance for Nigeria, and you have been excluded from that platform, not from that platform, from different platforms, I guess.
Well, we know of one.
Okay,
and
of one. All right.
That's the presidential debate being organized by the Nigerian Election Debate Group.
Okay, which is like the major one.
It's supposed to be a major one.
Okay.
But we have also been included, and we had a housing debate at the University of Lagos, I think, on Saturday. And that will be part of another one tomorrow, being organized by the CDD. I think it's Center for Development and Development of Democracy in Abuja. Sorry if I didn't get it right. Tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. So I'm appearing on other platforms, and we are taking steps to ensure that we're included when we sued NNDG, so that they can tell the Nigerian people why they're using public resources to exclude a vibrant candidate who is definitely even better qualified than some of the candidates that they chose. Now they haven't been able to prove in court why they did that, but also the vacation judge handling the case has transferred the case back to the CJ. We expect the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja today to reassign the case to another judge because we don't have time.
All right, yeah, because it's supposed to come up on the 19th of January,
yes.
and that's at the end of this week.
Yes.
So what are you looking at? Do you think that it's going to be fast enough to meet up with that date?
We have cleared all the hurdles on the part of making our case, but something happened unusual. A political party popped up from nowhere, I think it's UPN, and said they want to join the case. And we looked at their background, found out that they're in coalition with the APC. So apparently somebody's trying to use them to slow down the case. Their intention is to slow down the case so that we don't get a ruling. But we're hoping that the hearing will be handled expeditiously, and we'll get a ruling before the debate.
All right. Let's go to. All right. So let's go to your ticket.
Yes.
All right. What does your ticket embody for the future of Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole?
So our platform, or our political engagement, is robust in several ways. When we started as a movement 9 months ago, and then applied and transformed into a political party about 4 months ago, precisely in August. And between that time and now, we have been the fastest growing political party in Nigeria, apart from the two other political parties, APC and PDP, who are apparently using government funds to enlarge their own cost. And what we set out to do, or what we did, was to make sure that first and foremost, before we even became a political party, we had a set of programs to help Nigeria climb out of poverty and the abysmal state of the political situation, the socio-economic situation of our people. And these are broadly set out in 10 areas, started with that we call SPICER HEAT, which is an acronym for security, power, infrastructure, anti-corruption, economy, restructuring, health, education, agriculture, and tourism. And they are built on sustainability, security, and self-sufficiency for Nigeria. And with this, we're expecting that we will be able to bring infrastructure back. We'll provide over 5 million jobs in less than 2 years. We will restore education to a position where every child in Nigeria will go to school instead of selling on the streets, and that there will be a universal healthcare system where every Nigerian can have a health card and be able to see a doctor, able to make just a little contribution.
Before you enumerate some of those plans, I want to ask this question that are our national issues, especially the state of the economy, over bloated? Before you enumerate some of these plans, the Nigerian terrain as a whole, like where we are now, the issues we talk about, corruption, insecurity and all that, let's start from that point. Are they being over bloated? Are we overreacting to those issues?
No, we're not overreacting. This is the situation now. People are unsafe in this country. You're not only unsafe in your houses, you're unsafe at your jobs, your children are unsafe in their classrooms, our roads are unsafe, So it's a combination of safety issues, security issues, from job security to physical security to health security to social security. And without, addressing those issues, people will be in a constant state of anxiety because they need to feel safe and secure in their own country. So it's not over bloated. It's not over bloated that people are hungry or that our economic system is terrible. People are working and are getting paid salaries. Companies are closing up, closing down across board. The federal government haven't been able to address a lot of issues that has to do with making people feel healthy, safe, and secure in the country. Not over bloated. These are issues that our people are facing and they're speaking for themselves. Maybe the reason why you're getting the kind of reaction that you've never seen before is the fact that right now, multiple platforms and outlets for people to express themselves. So you don't have to go to a radio station or TV station anymore to say you're hungry. You can do that on Facebook, you can do that on Instagram, and you can do that on several other platforms out there. That's why it looks like that. Now it's real because there's a way that people can tell their own stories. And it's the reason why we must arrest this immediately before things get out of hand. Already, I think in some situations, things have gotten out of hand. Things have gotten out of hand with regards to terrorism. We've lost almost 14 local governments to Boko Haram. We are losing ground to criminals. We are losing ground to politicians who are engaging in economic crime or crimes. And we are losing ground in the area of institutions that have been compromised in the system, the police, the judiciary. This is what we must all come together to arrest immediately. There is a condition of urgency that requires attention right now.
But we have people, or let me say, set of people who are still downplaying these issues.
They do so for
because
even reasons.
So, even the Amnesty International report has been downplayed.
Yeah.
The UNICEF report has been downplayed. The issue of the even insecurity is being downplayed.
It is. They do so for political reasons. You have a bunch of very selfish political leaders in this country who are opportunistic in nature, who have no care for anybody, and they will suppress anybody who's telling the truth. You can imagine that Nigeria is expelling UNICEF, from that. It's never happened before. It's not even happening in countries that are actively in war like Syria and Afghanistan. But because they don't want the truth to be told, you can imagine that the Nigerian government will pay people to go and protest against Amnesty International when they present evidence of what is wrong with our human rights and the conduct of military officers and across the country, and how they are suppressing civil protests, say in the Southeast. They don't want anybody to know the truth because they benefit directly from the rot in the system. But I've been at the center of reporting on this rotting system for 12 years with Sahara reporters. So I understand what is going on, I understand what it's about, and I understand how to follow them around and find out what they are up to. And that is the reason I was excluded from the debates, because it would have been an opportunity to tell the story of these characters to a national audience.
All right. In one of your online publications recently, you mentioned that President Buhari's anti-corruption fight is a joke.
Yes, it is.
Okay, what's led to that, and do you still have that mindset as of now?
I mean,
especially looking at the background of what is happening now, at least today.
One of it is playing out as we are here today. The Chief Justice of Nigeria is being brought before a code of conduct tribunal to try him for non-declaration of his assets. If it wasn't a joke, right? The information they are using now was available to them when they were screening the Chief Justice. Sahara reporters published as of when he was being screened that he was found with monies that was huge. We did a report on it, we put it on Twitter.
What year was that?
It's probably 2 years ago, about the time he was being made Chief Justice. Even after that, but you know what they did at that time? The EFCC issued a statement. I think they issued a press statement denying that the Chief Justice was being investigated for corruption, just so that they can put us in bad light. So now that it's politically convenient, not expedient, they have now called the same chief judge, Justice of Nigeria to, and to even know further that it's a joke. The Chief Justice is not appearing before the tribunal. Send some 70 lawyers down to the place. They are arguing up and down as we speak. At the bottom of this is the incompetence of the government. If the government is competent, if you have evidence against anyone, that he will not act in the interest of justice.
I know the presidency denied having knowledge of this.
Because it's a bifurcated presidency, and the presidency tatters. Just like the former secretary of the government asked, who is the presidency? That's what is playing out again. That's why I say it's a joke. And as I said, the evidence, one of that clear evidence of how much of a theater the anti-corruption fight is playing out today. And what else do you want me to tell you?
Wow. Well, it's this information you're giving now is not something that is trending.
Yeah.
That's same information you're talking about is something that you actually talked about initially.
We published before. If you search on Twitter on our account, we have about 2 million followers on Sowore Reporters on Twitter, and we tweeted out that this Chief Justice, if you Google it, because the Chief Justice then denied stridently in the media as well. That, there's nothing like that, Sowore Reporters is making up a story against him. This evidence is now presented in public courts, for trial against him. But it is not in the interest of the Nigerian people. It's not in the interest of justice, it's for political reasons. And that is what has destroyed the so-called anti-corruption war. It's the reason we have to get rid of the Buhari administration and the PDP, because all of them are playing chess game with our lives.
All right, now talking about playing chess games with our life, I know there are other countries where young presidents have been elected.
Yes.
But looking at our Nigerian setting and the psyche of Nigerians, the level we are now, do you think we are ready to actually embrace the idea of having a young president ruling us?
What is the age of Nigeria?
Because like it is, it's just like the only parties available is still the APC and the PDP.
No, it's not
Every
true.
other party looks like they are second hand.
No, it's not true.
Okay.
What is the age of Nigeria? Nigeria attained independence 58 years ago. The president of Nigeria is 75 years, 76 years old. So the president is older than the country. The country is, of course, ready for younger candidates. The people who fought for independence of the country of Nigeria, they were in their 20s when they fought for independence. They are all of this world. Zeke, Nnamdi Azikiwe was the oldest among them. I think he was in his 40s, about the time he ran for office, and they were leaders. Every other person were in their 20s, the Bola Iges of this world. I'm 47 years old. Constitutionally, I am entitled to contest for the position of president of the country. But what is more important is that the country has a lot of vibrant, intelligent young people with stamina who can get things done better than these old cargoes. And we're saying that we're not ready. It's not true that we're not ready. They are the ones who are making it impossible for the country to make progress and have presented two options of two failed political entities, the APC and the PDP. And somehow people have become a slave to the propaganda that these are the only two functioning political. In fact, they claim that they have structures everywhere. I have traveled to 33 states in Nigeria in the last 9 months. Some of the states have been twice. There are no structures of these major political parties anywhere. They have retail outlets where they intimidate people, they buy votes, and nothing else. You cannot, if they had structures as they claim, they will not need to be rigging election. They won't need to be doing vote buying. Right? They don't have structure, they don't have organic structure. We are the ones that have organic structures and can connect with the people. All the rallies that they are doing is a transactional rally where they pay people, they appear, they parachute into the place, they wave at them, bring in musicians, and everybody leaves, they pay them again, and sometimes the people attending PDP rallies wait around to attend APC rallies the next day. If this is public information, and I'm just telling you that nobody should be repeating the same words that there are only two political parties. You know, that's not true. The two major political parties are the failed establishments that have brought Nigeria to its knees, and we cannot continue to refer to them as political parties that can take Nigeria to any level. They've destroyed the country, and they're just waiting around to be rewarded with further political promotion, and that's why people like us are out there to warn against that and present ourselves as better alternatives, and we have been able to prove that.
All right. Okay, we will go on a break shortly, but before we go on that break, I just want to talk about your ideological focus.
Yes.
From your party, looking at your antecedent.
I've been very clear that the welfare of the people of Nigeria will be my ideological base. I hate labels. I hate to be labeled a communist, a socialist, or a welfareist. But I cannot deny that what is at the heart of what I want to do or what will be done for Nigeria is to place the welfare of the people as top priority. So that government is investing in education, investing in health, investing in industries, investing in infrastructure, and ensuring that everybody is secure in the country. And that one I'm not afraid to say, right, to people, and that's the focus of our party. We are not a party that will take the country and give to the private sector. And when the private sector mess up the country, you take it back to people to clean it up. It's just like we're doing with AMCON now. We borrowed money to 250 businessmen, called them successful entrepreneurs. They bought jets with the loans, decided to marry women, more women, and did all kinds of things with that money. When the thing broke, we took back the loan. 5.3 trillion naira is what 350 people are owing through AMCON. And we're the one cleaning it up. But they kept their jets, they kept their mansions, and you call them successful entrepreneurs. When they're passing on the street, you are drumming for them. But there are failed businessmen who are just feasting on the resources of the country, like vultures. So they're always hanging around hoping that we will not, regain our senses and have a clear agenda and objective of how to help our people climb out of poverty and misery. And that's what we're here to change. That is the crux of ideological thought process.
All right, it's Mr. Omoyele Sowore, and he's still here with us on the program. We want you to, if there are people who are not watching right now, we want you to call them to tune in because it's a very, very important discussion, and it's something everyone needs to listen to. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with our discussion. Please stay with us.
No, yeah, coffee. Why don't you get it?
Welcome back. Our guest is still Mr. Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate for African Action Congress, AAC. All right, let me ask you, what actually motivated you to go into politics? Because you are a journalist? or one of your
it's
journalism happens to be one of your strong areas?
Yes, I have resisted publicly attempt to classify or categorize me as a journalist, and I do it out of respect for people who went to journalism schools and obtained degrees and have a professional calling. Mine is a cause, and that is to empower citizens by ensuring that they participate in sharing information to expand their democratic space and fundamental rights. And this one is enshrined even in the Declaration, the United Nations Declaration for Human Rights, which Article 19 gives you permission to collect and share information that as a right, as more of a right. So, but I have always been in politics. I've been a political activist my entire life. I have only just now been in partisan politics. You know, when I say partisan politics, I think that's phone ringing in the corner there. Yes.
All right, please go on.
Yes. So I've not been in partisan politics. I joined a political party before until this until last year when we formed our own political party, the African Action Congress. So my motivation has always been the same, that politics don't have to cripple people, governments don't have to act against the interests of the public, and I've been on the front lines fighting to ensure that government is always doing what is right by the people. And this time around, I just felt like the more you stand on the sidelines complaining, the more terrible people get elected into office, and you keep complaining and they don't change because they don't listen to you, and they don't care about you. And for you to get to that point where politics is serving the interests of a majority, you have to come and present your credentials. And I've looked at all our leaders in the last 30 years of my political engagement and found all of them deficient for the same reasons, that they do not emerge from a place of purpose. They're not equipped, they're incompetent, and there's always a cabal out there who have bonded together starting from the days of the military. When they retired, they didn't leave the country. And they're the ones recycling themselves and recycling the same failed people to occupy our political space. And we must end that. We don't have any excuses anymore.
Okay, you personify the youth of the country.
Yeah.
Now, we have so many of our youths going out in their millions in search of greener pastures.
Yes.
You are one of them.
Yes.
Because from your profile, you studied in America and other countries of the world. All right. What will your party do to stop this trend? Are you going to stop it? Are you going to just put it in check, or what do you have towards that?
What the question we should ask ourselves is, what makes people migrate? It's always in search of something better that they don't have on their own side of. Don't forget, before now, it was white people migrating towards Africa. Yeah. Interestingly, when they did migrate, they didn't even go get a visa. They just got on a boat and they were looking for African countries where they could find gold, find copper, find timber. At the point, they were looking for human beings to use as slaves. So the solution is not a legislation. You cannot legislate migration out of anybody's mind. You have to create the conditions that make people stay in their own country. Then you would then need a legislation to control people migrating towards you. Because the moment there is better life on this side, everybody will be coming to Nigeria. It happened before. We had Ghanaians flood into this country, and we did Ghana must go. That is a legislation that failed. Because you can't force people who have come into your country, you integrate them after they arrive here. Probably would have been better off if we didn't drive the Ghanaians away. Yes. Do you know why? Some of my best teachers in high school were Ghanaians. Math teacher, biology teachers, English teachers. These guys, they were well-trained teachers. They were forced out of their countries because of the economic situation in their country and perhaps oppression at that time. If we had kept them here, they would have continued to provide the services and trained even better teachers. But out of this myopic leadership we have, who happen to be the same characters who are still with us. We made that mistake. What I'm saying is, to address migration, fix your country. People will stay. If the country is not good, if you like, you can erect a wall around Nigeria. They will jump over the wall. If they can't jump over it, they will burrow through it. If they can't burrow it, they create a tunnel. If they can't create a tunnel, they will have somebody throwing somebody over the wall and another person catching on the other side. So fix the country. Make Nigeria a country that is economically viable, that provides jobs, healthcare, education for its people. You cannot have a country that is being cast or named as the capital of poverty in the world, and you have a law saying people can migrate out of it. There's nobody who is in love with poverty. Nobody. Nobody can make you love poverty. Yeah. No law can make you love poverty. So, but here's what I would say about my experience. I traveled for 19 years out of Nigeria, and I lived in the US. There's no place like home. No place like home. And at the end of the day, you are part of the external statistics of migrants. Yes, they're welcoming, you can live your life the way but you get to a point where there's this
it's where I come from.
Consciousness that makes you feel like, man, I need a home that I can stay in. I need a country that accepts me, that can provide me the same, conditions that has made life a little bit good on the other side. And it's also that, you cannot suppress your humanity forever. And what is humanity in this case is, okay, you want to live a good life, think about your brothers, your sisters, your family, even your countrymen and women. They deserve this too. So part of it is always like, there's this pull to bring back the ideas, that you've gathered somewhere and bring it back home. And nobody, I can tell you, categorically, there's nobody who is in love with this country right now more than Nigerians who are outside the country. I'm not saying people at home here don't love Nigeria, but people outside really want Nigeria to get it right so that they can come back home.
All right, there's so much to say about our polity, Nigeria, because so many things are ongoing right now. But let's just see how far we can go before our time is up. Yeah. Well, since independence, Nigeria has been bedeviled with ethnicity, nepotism, tribalism, and others. Now, how can Nigeria come out of this? Now, this is your vision.
Yes. I understand that we have different ethnic groups. We can't wish them away.
And the level of divide amongst us now is
greater
than it used to be.
What you must understand is that all of these fissures, divisions, cleavages, they play into the agenda of the political class. When it is time to share Nigeria's resources, wealth, there is no ethnicity. There's no Yoruba, there's Hausa. They speak the language of greed. They share it. They marry into families so that they keep, stolen wealth within this special population of greedy people. But when it is time to get the people divided, the true ethnicity are there. They suddenly let you remember that you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, But you ask yourself, what is the ethnicity right now? What is one thing that binds all of us together? Poverty, starvation, penury. That's our ethnicity, And what they make you hold on to as your ethnicity is what they themselves repudiate. Because you cannot find a rich man who is sending their children to an ethnic school. They send them to international schools, They send them to London. You can't find Buhari's children in Amajiri schools, even though he's a religious fanatic in reality. You can't find Atiku's children in Amajiri schools. No, they send them to schools that are not ethnic in nature. But when it is time to address Nigerians, of course, it's time to tell you that, you are Hausa, that's why you are being persecuted, that's why I'm being persecuted. It's part of the divisive politics that helps them hold on to power. Nepotism is, of course, how they surround themselves with people of their age so that they continue to, suppress and oppress the people. Because the people who actually carry out oppression as proxies are the people who are beneficiaries of the nepotistic system of governance. But it is all in an attempt to trump, any form of development that could have been brought to Nigeria by way of bringing everybody that's competent to partake in building the nation. And that is why these issues are so dangerous to us. But I'll say finally, what's also justice? Any kind of social justice that brings people out of poverty, that doesn't look at their faces and ask them where they come from before they're treated nice, will just help ethnicity, nepotism, and tribalism fizzle out. Do you know why I say so? I've lived in New York for, out of 19 years, probably 15 years non-stop, where I've been around New York City. There is no city in the world that has the biggest ethnic mix like New York. If you meet one person is Nigerian, the next person is Kenyan, is Italian, is an African, is a Danish, is English, but nobody is going around saying, oh, I want to go to my ethnic bank to go and bank, or I want to work in my ethnic company. The most important thing is that you work, you get paid, you live a good life. Maybe once in a while you remember your ethnic backgrounds, for other reasons of cultural support. That is not to say that there are no Chinese neighborhoods or Korean neighborhoods, but those things have both social and economic settings, right? That's how a support system that helps them to promote their social-cultural existence.
You see, our divide on the lines of tribalism, yes, religion, creed, it's so wide, and it's something that's a bit bothersome. Now, what would you do practically now to bring this bond back together, and then also the issue of regional integration?
It's
practically now.
No, the practical,
because it must be addressed.
Solution to it is justice, right? So, give me an example of the greatest division you are seeing in any neighborhood in Nigeria that is not as a result of injustice. Nigerians used to be one people, but war came and divided us. And who fought the war? The same guys who fought the war are still in charge of Nigeria. And they still have that civil war mentality, You cannot go out there and shoot some ethnic group, create 3 million of them, and one day you come around and say nobody was conquered.
So what you're saying, we need fresh minds.
Exactly.
Okay.
So until we have fresh minds who understand the essence of cohesion. So every other thing we are doing to bring people together, unity schools, National Orientation Agency propaganda, is not going to help until food that is not ethnic in nature is entering people's stomach. Job that is not ethnic in nature is going to people, that people can get job and they don't get to the final interview and suddenly you say, oh, you are Igbo. You can't get the job. This one is meant for Yoruba, this one is meant for Hausa. Like they did with immigration, they did with customs and things like that. The moment you get rid of all of that, people will be integrated again. And finally, on the issue of the regional integration you were talking about, what is needed is development. How do you integrate regions when there's no road that link one region to the other? What we want to do is to have an interstate highway system in Nigeria that cuts through all the six geopolitical zones, with a dual carriageway. So if I want to travel to Enugu and I can get to Enugu in 4 or 5 hours, that is regional integration. It means that I can do business in Enugu, come back to Lagos safe, or I can clear my goods out of Port Harcourt port without the thinking that, if the Port Harcourt port is working, the Igbos will be too economically powerful, so let's keep them suffering in Lagos. These are the issues that nobody wants to talk about, but that is what is the underpinning, the underlying reasons why so many of these policies that have failed Nigeria is being perpetuated. People have a mindset that certain regions should be held back, certain individuals should not be allowed, certain ethnic groups should not take it, and when another ethnic group gets there, they take care of one ethnic group, and everybody is just ethnicizing what should have been a national government. That's the problem. And except you have people who don't have those kind of mindsets, who are not stuck in those kind of mindsets, Nigeria is moving nowhere. I don't have any ethnic bone in my body. I don't have any nepotistic conduct or behavior. I believe that Nigeria can work, and that's the reason I'm presenting myself as president, and I've traveled to 33 states. And guess what? People showed us love everywhere we went, including Lafayette, Makurdi. We went to Jos. We went to all the places. Nobody asked me about my ethnicity. Nobody asked me about my religion. Because they know that I don't have that kind of mindset. They can smell it when they see you.
Oh, they can smell it.
Yes.
All right. We'll take another quick break, and when we come back, we still have Mr. Sowore here with us. We'll be right back. Is it a perfume?
It is. Trust me.
So they can smell it.
They can smell it. They know these things. They know it. They know the ethnic bigots in our midst. They know the religious fanatics in our midst.
One cup, sir.
I've never seen this in the last 10 years.
Sir?
Traffic, right?
Traffic for
Wow.
4 hours.
In this Lagos?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. How have you been?
How?
Have you been? We had to get on the show the other time, right?
No,
On that side.
no,
Not
it's not
sure.
the one.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm sorry about
But I've been itching. I actually missed this.
Yeah, it's the co-presenter.
Yeah,
You're supposed to go
you
straight
announced
to them.
them, yeah. That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome back. Thanks for still being there. All right, Mr. Sowore, just before we end the program,
Yes.
on this issue of insecurity, I want you to talk about the issue of insecurity and corruption summarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. What will you do differently on the issue of insecurity, and then what's your solution to the fight against corruption? Just to
So
cap
with
it.
regards to security, I've talked about overhaul, but I'll be specific
Yes.
that everybody in the army or in our military today that's involved in fighting security will be deeply involved. I am going to turn them out. These guys are compromised. The problem with Nigeria insecurity is that at the time it was a crisis. Now it has become a business. And when insecurity enters the business, it will never go away. My little study of, terrorism, as we've had with Boko Haram, is that typically Boko Haram will last for 10 years. And it has done that. Whenever, after 10
That
years...
10 years makes it the crisis period.
And then
Okay.
after that,
It becomes
they
business.
yes. No, I won't actually enter business before it got to 10 years. And what are the businesses there? The buying of equipment, training of our security agencies, payment of their allowances. People are stealing from you. So what happened under former President Goodluck Jonathan, and how they were making money out of the crisis. In fact, one of the biggest scams that Nigerians didn't talk about was the Chibok girls and how they were bailed out from Boko Haram, the ransom payments. They were making billions out of it, and we exposed a lot of these Sahara reporters in those days. So you have to get rid of all these hands, and you have to then bring a new crop of officers who are eager to fight and end the terrorism. And when it comes to corruption, my agenda is, or our own agenda in our party is very simple. One, it has to be prevention of corruption, because the moment people are allowed to steal, it's difficult to collect back from them, even when you have the best judges and lawyers and prosecutors. Second is enforcement. It's ensuring that even if we find that you are wrong, we quickly enforce to close the loopholes of our anti-corruption laws. And the final thing that is not happening is consequences. We are not delivering consequences onto corrupt elements. They get away with, blue murder in this country. You can steal Nigeria blind, and the president will still give you a national award.
Once you're in the party.
Yes, once you are part of the party. All the people who used to be known as thieves, even designated as thieves by the APC. But at the moment they join APC, they just become saints. We know all of them. We are seeing them on national TV every day, and how they are hobnobbing with the president because it is politically expedient and desirable to do so. So this is what we will do. And when it comes to me, most people know my stance on corruption anyway.
It's on action.
Yes.
All right, now, so before we leave, let's just have your last word to the people.
Well, thank you so much for bringing me on the show, and I'm talking to our people and Nigerians that this is yet another opportunity to change the course of history and to change our country finally for good by electing young people with character. But I'm not preaching to you that being young is the only reason why I'm qualified. It's because I have, history, very rich history, very, very powerful antecedents and pedigree and integrity, and I have stamina. I'm not a tired young person, and definitely will not be a tired old man anytime in the near future. Yes. So this is a time to bring fresh ideas into this country, and it's time for us to deliver our country in a very revolutionary way. And I hope you join us. Don't waste time.
All right. Thank you so much for being a part of the program today. Really appreciate you, and we wish you the best in your quest to be the next president of Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, our viewers, for staying with us on the program. We know you've learned one or two things about our guest today, and it's left for you to do what you know is best for the country. And also, before we leave, I want to remind you, if you have not collected your PVC, please, you need to go all out to ensure that you get one, because your vote must count. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again on Wednesday, same time on this station. Bye-bye.